Hey guys, welcome back to part 6 of Wuchang Fallen Feathers. This one is jam-packed, so try and keep up. From the shrine, turn to the right, follow the wooden platform, and you're going to run into one of the poison jar enemies. You'll see that these guys get easier and easier to defeat as you go. That is thanks to all of the red mercury that you're spending and the upgrades to your health and your weapon and all that good stuff. So make sure you're spending the right amount of time in your impetus upgrading all of your attributes. If you come into this little room, you'll get one of these spider enemies. They spit out blight, and when they die, they release a large cloud of it. Don't go through it. It will build up pretty quickly. So wait for it to completely dissipate before you walk away. This little room that we're in, you're going to see a whole bunch of them. There are elevators. Most of them do not work. You can't activate them. But there is, I think, one or maybe two places where there's actually an elevator there, but we're not going to take them. Once you finish in that area, let's head toward the red tree that's in the middle. Go to the left around it. Do not pick up that item that we just passed. If you do, you will fall down to the next level, and we don't want to go there yet. We want to continue around to the path that's on the left. Take out these two golem-looking enemies. Be careful that they don't shoot you. There is an item here that is very important. It is the Lashing whip, which is a longsword, and it's much better than the longsword that we have right now. So you can go ahead and equip that at any time. I should have, but I didn't. And you probably hear the whistling. I know I hear the whistling, and I can see the feathers flapping over there. So we're going to turn back around, and if you look up on the wood right there, you'll see there's a bird that gives an arm feather, so go ahead and take him out. Then we can head back toward the middle. Also, you can use your bamboo lantern to light up the area around you. I am going to do it in a little while. I just haven't done it yet. And you don't have to put it as an item. So like in the 4 items you have in your quick slot, you don't have to do that. You can simply just use it from your main inventory. Once you make your way around, you'll get back to where that item was that I said don't grab it, you'll fall. You can grab it now and fall down. There's another one of those little centipede looking creatures. And there are 2 enemies that are going to come up when you aggro them. Just take these guys out. Be careful with your dodging because you can dodge completely off of the platforms to where you're just on the ground. And I died a lot by doing that. So be very, very careful with what direction you're dodging toward. When you get down here, you can pick up the items and head inside of this cave. Be careful, there's a golem enemy waiting to jump on you. He's just inside the doorway, just waiting. When you get in here, you can go to the left. There's a little path going up this way. I really hope this isn't too dark on YouTube. I tried to turn up the brightness, but being that my lantern's not on right now, I'm very concerned. I hope it's not too dark. Anyway, there are 2 golem enemies sitting by that fire. Take them out and then climb up the ladder against the wall here. So we're seeing some things that are very different in this area compared to other areas that we've been to. And we're going to continue seeing that. You're going to see a lot of trap floors. You can see them here. There's traps in the floor, and then be careful that square in the middle of the floor. It's like a cement square. Don't step on it because it will release another trap. So do be careful. When you exit the room, to the right is a golem enemy that you will want to take out. And then if you break those boxes and look down, that's an area that we have already been to. You can drop down there. I think you can fight an enemy if you want to down there. But for now, we're just going to go up toward the red tree, turn to the right, and you can barely see a bamboozling enemy. Right now, I'm just going to equip my bamboo lantern. I didn't have to do it in my items, but I didn't realize that at that time. Look how much better that is. So much more light. So when you run up here, sprint quickly, lock onto that bamboozling, and take him out. For the bamboo shoot, this should be bamboozling number 4. And then you can go inside this little cave. Be careful of the trap in the middle of the floor. And come all the way to the back of the room for a faint red feather. And then once you're done, you can exit out and go back the way that we came. You can't go to the right. You just can't. So head to the left, continue around the tree. And these little plants here, they give you feathering. They help to boost your feathering. But they only help you so much. You can't completely fill up your feathering just by touching them. And if you continue further on, there are these enemies that, to me, they look like grasshoppers. They're not grasshoppers because all their limbs are like human limbs. But they spit blight at you. And if you get in their face, they will grab you and chew on you. So you don't want to get too close to them. And you don't want to let them spit the blight on you. That's why I'm having these sped up pieces, because I'm just waiting. I'm waiting to de-aggro those enemies so they stop spitting blight. There's 3 of them over there, and I'm just trying to get them to where they're not looking at me so I can take them out. I aggroed the other 2 by going over there. So what I'm going to do is, see, he's spitting blight at me. I'm going to lock onto one of them and throw a fire spell. And then I'm going to wait for him to de-aggro and turn around and face the other way, because I don't want him to grab me and chew on me. And I also don't want him spitting blight in my face. So I'm going to wait. Once I stop seeing the blight being spit, he's turned his back, so now I'm going to go and attack him either from the side or from the back, trying not to get in his face. And then this third one, he should be pretty easy to take out by himself. See there? He's started flapping his hands and stuff. Yeah, you don't want to be in front of him when he does that. Once you've taken these guys out, pick up all the items that are scattered around and continue down the path. This leads to a cave. Now, in this cave, we're going to have 2 caves that are almost the same. You come through them and there are traps in the floor. Be careful. Time it. Before you sprint across, you want to time it perfectly so that the trap doesn't stab you in the feet. Be careful of the clouds of corruption that are just around. And you can see there's a chest over at the end. Open this up. And inside you should find Jade Pendant number 6. You can loose that ladder to where it drops down. And then climb down. And you'll see to the left of the screen, we're back at the shrine. So we made a pretty big circle there. Now that you're back at the shrine, you can either upgrade your weapons while you're there if you think you probably have enough red essence, or you can continue on. It looks like I'm going to head back over here and do a little bit of upgrading. Kind of hoping that maybe I had a forgotten remembrance or a lost remains or something, but I don't. So no mana base upgrades just yet, but I can upgrade something else. Here I'm just, so when you first open up a tree for a weapon, you automatically get a special attack, and then I think you can unlock 4 more for each weapon, and I'm just trying to figure out which one I want to use. I haven't picked one yet, and eventually I will use block, but as of right now I don't have block. So anyway, come back down toward the tree, and we're going to drop down again to where we were before. Obviously, I died. My lantern's not lit. But you want to drop down. So when you drop down onto that first part, you want to go forward just a little bit and then drop down to the left, right where the little spine-looking things stop that go off the side. You want to drop down right there. And there are several enemies here. There's lots of corruption. So try to be careful. Also, my lantern isn't on. I'm going to realize it pretty soon here and turn it back on. But yeah, most of the time when I died, it was from dodging. You dodge in the wrong direction and fall off the side, then you die and everything comes back, and it's super annoying. So try not to get frustrated if that happens to you. Just try to be very, very deliberate with the directions that you choose to dodge into. So instead of going that way, over where that ladder was, we're going to go the opposite direction and take out this enemy that's off to the right. This area does seem confusing, but I promise you it's a lot less confusing than it looks. Okay, I'm going to turn on my lantern now. No, I really need to. When you come up here, this is near the tree. There we go. There's a centipede looking creature right there. And there's nothing else. But I do like to be very thorough. So I just wanted to show you. There's a door off to the right over there, but we can't go to the right. We're going to come around and open it from a different way. So for now, let's head back to the wooden walkway and back over to where that ladder is. Climb up the ladder and you'll see off to your right there's an enemy there. We can't reach that from here. We're going to have to go around and we'll come up behind that enemy instead. So we want to head into this cave that looks all corrupted. And do be careful. There are spike traps in here. Once you get through all of this, you'll see there's a bag. It looks like a bag of blood and, I guess, body parts. Those are actually enemies, and they can scream, and their scream will lock you into place. So take them out when you see them. And when you get to the end, open up this little chest here where you can collect Jade Pendant number 7 and then unlock the wooden door. Now, one of these Jade Pendants that we just picked up is going to stop the enemies when they scream. It locks you into place. It paralyzes you. One of those Jade Pendants will help to stop that from happening. So here, I'm taking a look at the Jade Pendants I have equipped, and I'm going to change them out to better fit the situation that I'm in. You can do that as well. Just choose whatever you think is going to work best for you. Once you come down the stairs, there's an enemy hanging out in the corruption over here. Be careful. Try not to let your corruption get too high. And anytime you have high corruption, and you can see it from that little tiny banner that's in the center of the screen, if you see an item in corruption, just let your banner go down a little bit before you grab it, because it's going to shoot right back up when you go to grab that item. So once you get back toward the tree, you'll see there's a bird on the scaffolding. You can take him out with a flying dagger. And then this is the enemy we saw when we went up the stairs. We came up from behind him. So we cannot go to the left. We can either go to the right down or to the right up. First, we're going to go to the right and up, because the path that we need to take for the story goes downward. So come up here and there's going to be 2 enemies waiting for you. One of them has fire, the other one has a sword and shield. Try to be careful. This time, one of them got hung up on the railing. Lucky for me. But it can be hard with them both coming after you because it's very easy to fall off that ledge. Once you've taken care of them, you can either go to the right on the wooden platform, or you can continue around the tree. Let's take the wooden platform first. Be careful because through that doorway, there's a bunch of debris in front of it. An enemy's going to jump out from behind it. And if you're not prepared, he can take you off guard. He's not very difficult, but if he gets a good lick on you, it could be bad. So right there, you can see there actually is an elevator inside of that room. There's a ladder to the left of the room, and then over to the right, you can see that there is an item on a table. You can go and pick up the item. I think it's camellias. No, it isn't. It's emerald lotus seeds. I haven't used any of those, but I'm sure they're handy. Anyway, we're not going to take that elevator. This looks to be the only one that we possibly could take, and I honestly haven't tried. But we don't need to go there right now. We do. Well, we don't need to go up the ladder, but we're going to go up the ladder. Be careful. Kind of slow down when you get toward the top because there's a crazy woman up here who's going to fling herself off of the ledge trying to come after you. And there's also a monk up here that you'll want to take out because we're about to face one of those red-eyed enemies. And these guys are much tougher than regular enemies, so you don't want any distractions. Now, he's going to give, I think he gives faint red feather. Nothing super important, but we do want to get rid of him. This is a dead-end room, though, so if you don't care about the red feather, then you don't have to fight this enemy. He is pretty tough and extremely fast, but using your spells, you should be okay. You also get a red mercury essence from him, so that's like a free upgrade, which that in itself is worth it. Later on, like if you notice that your red mercury, the cost to get an essence goes up every time you trade in red mercury, that cost goes up. So a free one is definitely worth the trouble. Once you exit that room, there's an item to the left from where you exit. Be careful, an enemy will drop down on you. But it's not too difficult. And these are just regular consumable items. They're nothing super important. So you don't have to come over here and collect it if you don't want to. But I'm always going to take whatever I can get. Anyway, head back down the ladder. Be careful because that crazy woman could be here waiting. Yep, she sure was. We're going to head back over here. I'm just going to run away from them. I'm not going to engage. And head back toward the tree and go to the right. When you pick up this item here, the floor is going to fall out from underneath you. And this is an area that we have already been to. So, no worries. This is going to take us back to that ladder. So come around the wooden platform, and as you make your way up, you'll see there's an enemy here. You can take him out or you can run past him. It's really up to you. Come around this way, climb up the ladder. This area should look familiar to you. We've already been here. When you come through this little cave, This is where we picked up the very last Jade Pendant that we found. So be careful of the spikes in the floor. This is the door that we unlocked. So yeah, we just made our way back. Everything sort of connects in this place. When you go to the right, going toward the tree, you want to take the path that goes down. There's an item on the wooden platform, and to the right there is a ladder. Be careful, there's an enemy just sitting there waiting. So as soon as you can, slide down the ladder so you can try to kind of get a jump on him. If you're not fast enough, he can actually swing at you and knock you down off of the ladder. So do be careful. Continue on, climb down the next ladder. And here we're going to have a bunch of those little centipede looking enemies and a bunch of the bag enemies as well. And they're going to start screaming down here. So I think I have a Jade Pendant equipped that stops the screaming from paralyzing me. And that's why it doesn't affect me. So even though that's not something that you would normally use, it is pretty helpful down here. So once you exit the ladder, if you're climbing, like the ladder is to our left, you can go to the right first if you want to. There's a lot of corruption here, and some enemies are going to drop down on you from above. But there is an item over here. It's a blue item, so if you don't want to risk it, you don't have to. It's a purple camellia. It's helpful, but you do have to brave corruption to get it. Turn around and go in the opposite direction. There you can see those bag enemies are screaming. So you'll want to take them out if you can. And I'm pretty sure that they spawn these little centipede creatures. I think that's where they come from, is from those bag enemies. Trying to just kind of get away from that guy, but he's going to follow me. And for how little they are, they sure shake the screen a lot when they pounce. Continue around. I'm going to chop up that bag enemy here. I don't want any more centipedes to deal with if I can help it. Get away from them when they explode, because they do explode corruption. Man, I'm getting really close to being corrupted, as well as having blight. I really don't want that. Anyway, once you get pretty far, you'll see on the left there's a path that leads to the base of the tree. I'm going to bypass that for now and go to the end. I don't think that there's anything over here, but I do like to be thorough and check everything. So head back, take the path that goes toward the center of the tree. There is an enemy patrolling around the base of the tree. You may or may not see him. If you do, just take him out, and if not, you can walk right up and grab these items that are sitting here. One of them is a Lost Remains, and the other one is Jade Pendant number 8. You want to grab both of those items. Then you can make your way around the base of the tree, and there's only one way that you can go. So this is the enemy that patrols around. I just happened to run into him here. You may have seen him sooner. Either way, he's a nuisance, so we just got rid of him. The one way that you can go is this path that's full of items, which obviously looks like a trap. And in some ways it is, and in some ways it isn't. Once you pick up roughly 6 or 7 items, those little centipede creatures are going to fall down from the ceiling. So there you see one in the front of you, but there's also 2 behind you that are going to fall. So keep that in mind. Don't just focus on the one that's in front of you, because behind you there are more, and all of them want to give you blight, which I've just gotten. Luckily, the blight does not last as long as the corruption. It goes away pretty quickly, but it tends to take off more health. So I guess there's a trade-off. I'm gonna have to heal. Once you take out those enemies, come around over here. There's an item on this table that has purple camellia. You have lots and lots of consumable items all over the place. So, and I'm going to take out all these bag enemies because if they do spawn those centipedes, I don't want to have to deal with them. So continue along the path. You may see a little bit of visual stuttering. I don't see it a whole lot in this game, but it does appear here and there, especially in the dark areas. I passed up where the torches are. There's a cave. I passed it up to come over here and grab this item. Beware these weird grasshopper kind of enemies. Actually, I think it's a coffin with chains around it. And that's where the human bodies come from, is that it's maybe a coffin with a lot of people in it. But to me, it looks like a grasshopper. Maybe I'm just weird. Anyway, I went and picked up that item. Beware of those two enemies that are going to drop down from the ceiling. And then come through the cave where there's a long path of wooden pathways. Just keep following them, heading down. You'll encounter these two enemies here in the corruption. Continue making your way down. And you'll see more torches along the wall. Be careful, there's corruption everywhere. And once you get to this point, you'll see there's a wooden wall on the side and this guy's going to come up from behind it. Take him out and then go where he came from. So you'll want to go on the inside of that wall and then turn the corner to the right and you'll see a firebird enemy hanging out there. This one is not very difficult. It looks like most of his health is already gone for some reason. I guess maybe he was fighting that other NPC. But take him out so that you can pick up this faint red feather and then continue downward. Either path you take is good. It makes a circle. It'll bring you all back to the same place. So you can go back up where we were and follow that path, or you can just follow the path down here. You can stop and read this note if you like, but it doesn't give you anything. And once you're done and you turn around, do not enter the cave with the torches and the little yellow stickers on it. Turn to the right and go up the wooden path instead. We're not ready to go there just yet. You'll see on the railing there's a bird that you can collect an arm feather from. You can hit them with your sword also if you like, if they're close enough. Turn around and come over here and grab this item from the corruption, and then check the note that's on the ground that gives you 2 purple camellias. And then head back up. You should see the shrine straight ahead. This is shrine number 7. And there is a trophy for finding all of the shrines. There are 50 in total. I may have told you that already. There are also 24 weapons total. You have to find all of those. 31 Jade Pendants. 10 Forgotten Remains. 12 Forgotten Remembrances. And 7 Benediction Gates. So those are all trophy related. Anyway, since we found Forgotten Remains, we upgraded our mana base again. And we are getting ready to go into a boss fight that is somewhat difficult. It's not terrible, but it's not easy by any means. So go ahead, gather up whatever you may need to go into this fight. You can also use your temperance if you like. That's the item that looks like an arm. You can load that into your items where you can select 4 from the quick slot. And you can use it right before you go into the fight to use the temperances that you have put in. But I'm not going to use that. I'm actually not going to use it until I get the leech ability. So that's up to you. You can use it now if you like, or you don't have to. And it does reset itself every time you die or every time you enter the dream. You get a whole new reset for that. Here I am going to enter the dream just so that I can get my mana base full before we go into this boss fight. So once you're done at the shrine, turn around, head down the wooden path. And when you get to the bottom, turn to the right and enter this cave. And this is going to trigger the boss fight with the Blightweaver. Now, this guy, he is pretty tough. You will need to learn his moveset. You'll have to dodge quite a bit. And those towers, there's these towers in the middle of the room, like they're all around the room, and they have those yellow tags on them like this. You can bait him into hitting that, and it will stun him for a time because those towers have lightning. They cause lightning damage, so it'll take a big chunk of his health away, as well as stun him if he hits them. Be careful. He can do this attack with his tail where he spins around and hits you, and sometimes it's multiple spins. If he runs into one of those electrified pillars, you definitely want to take advantage of that. He also has this. Usually it's about his halfway point. He will do that spell where the lightning shoots out. And you just have to dodge away, really. After that attack, he will always do this underground thing. Just watch the ground beneath your feet. You'll see it crumbling. When it turns orange, you want to dodge away immediately. Eventually, he'll come back out of the ground, and you can resume the fight. Most of his moves stay pretty much the same. You can dodge those. It's just kind of difficult. You have to be really, really good with your timing. Again, here he ran into one of those pillars, so we got some good licks in. And then he will suck the air in. You have to be careful because he can suck you close to him and do some pretty good damage to you. Just keep dodging away when he does that. Also here, he can spawn that purple cloud of corruption. You want to be away from there when he does that. And it also kind of blinds you. It gives him a chance to kind of hide from you. See here, as you get closer and closer to getting him down to the end of his health, he'll start doing things at the same time as other things that he used to never do. There, I think we got lucky because he hit that electrified column, but we have no heals left. We're living on a prayer, and here we're gonna get lucky, stun him, and be able to defeat Blightweaver, the Great Centipede, and earn that trophy. We got a weapon for that. I think it's the aerial blade. And we also got several other items, like a Taoist token. We got his spell. Man, that was... I didn't realize how lucky I was in that fight, actually. Once you're done, you can continue through this room. You cannot go up this way. There's corruption, and also the way is blocked. We're going to come up on the other side of it in just a bit. So go where the lamps are lit through this little cave area. Follow the wooden ramps going up. Be sure to avoid the corruption. And we're done with caves for a little while, so thank goodness for that. We can see really well now. When you get to the top here, you can see off to the right, that's where that's over where we fought the boss. And now we are in the Tower of Sacrifice. This tower, we're going to go up it right now. We're just trying to get over to the next shrine. But we're going to, actually in the beginning of the next video, we're going to come back and do a little thorough search of this tower. There's nothing that's vitally important in this tower. However, there are several useful items that are here. One of which I think is actually very important. Anyway, just take the elevator up for now, and you can exit out of the tower. Follow the wooden ramps going up. See down there are some enemies. So there are a few enemies here. We're going to come back and do that in the next one. Go up toward the waterfall. You'll see this item just sitting here in the middle of the ground. You can grab it. And a little bit further up there is a purple item on the ground. This is the broken token. And at this point, I don't know what those items are for, but purple items are usually pretty important. And we just got a Taoist token from a boss, so I assume this one's pretty important too. Unlock the wooden doors, and straight ahead of you, you'll see Youzai. You can pick up the item next to him and then speak to him.
Wuchang, you made it. How's the arm?
Sometimes you can't skip the first line of dialogue, I've noticed. So if you see me not skipping, just know that sometimes you get locked out. Like you just can't. You have to let that first line of dialogue play. Give him the lost package when you're prompted to, and in return he's going to give you a book of the Southern Archipelago, and he's also going to give you the pirate armor set. Once you're done speaking to him, you can head up the path behind him. As you come up here, you're going to want to go down to the left. You can see there's a bird that gives an aurum feather on that tree. And to the right, there's a bunch of fire, so we can't go that way. You can see the shrine there at the bottom, but I want you to be prepared. This is there's really a shrine there, but this one is a copycat. It's actually an enemy. So when you walk up and try to use the shrine, it's going to turn into an enemy. So just be prepared for that. Now here, obviously, I died. You can see my inner demon is there. The shrine picked me up and threw me when I tried to activate it, and you don't have a choice. You can't just go up and hit the shrine. You have to actually activate it. So we're going to just sit here and watch the show. These two are going to fight it out. And then whoever wins, I will take them out at the end. I don't know exactly what that enemy's supposed to be. I marked it in my notes just as the shrine enemy, but I don't know if it actually has a name. It just sort of looks gross and big and wooden. Anyway, now my demon's gonna come back, and that shrine didn't really do anything to her, so I think I'm actually gonna die. I don't remember, but I think she kills me. Yeah, she does, and I don't have any health. So anyway, we made our way back over here. Let's activate the shrine by donating some blood. And let me pick up my red mercury. And this is where we're going to end this video. So thank you all so much for watching. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're enjoying the walkthrough so far. And I hope I see you all back here in part 7. Until then, Khajiit always has wares.